outside, and so very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Shashwat Eco Solution Foundation Pune for the webinar on sustainability and ICT Smart City 2020. So to begin with, I would like to introduce some ground rules for today's session. I would request all participants to put their mics on mute and video off. In case you have any queries or comment or any feedback, please feel free to type them in the chat box, which is on the extreme down of your computer screen, and the team will be making notes for the same. Thank you. So till now I can see 32 participants have already joined in for the session. And so to start with, a brief about Shashwat Eco Solution Foundation. Shashwat promotes sustainable development to maintain the balance of the ecosystem and civilization, sustainability through environmental efficiency, social elevation, and economic enhancement of the weaker sections. Sustainable development without compromising ecosystem in current context is the need of the hour. So let us understand from our eminent speakers on the sustainability aspect with global overview and smart solution in sustainable development. Also, I would like to thank all the eminent persons of sustainability sectors who have joined us and taken out their valuable time today in this webinar from all across the globe. A very warm welcome to all. So now I would like to take you through the agenda for today's webinar and about the speakers. Today in this forum, we have our eminent speaker, Mr. Olympio. Mr. Olympio will be focusing on the topic ICT Smart City. He is the CEO, Blue Cloud France. Blue Cloud is a provider of enterprise resource planning and smart city software and services to mid-market companies and public sector. Mr. Olympio, he is a French citizen, is computer science and manufacturing engineer in France and got his MBA degrees in US. He created Blue Cloud in the year 2017 after 30 years of experience in several major companies in France, Europe, and US as Chief Operating Officer. Prior to working for Blue Cloud, he founded Consultantia in 2003, which was recognized as the most innovative enterprise in 2008, awarded the 2007 Master of Innovation from Bill Gates, Microsoft founder, and winner of the IBM Beacon Award for Mid-Market Solution in the US in 2009. Blue Cloud provide a global solution with built-in industry expertise and smart cities solution on-premise and on cloud platform. While working on Rwanda project to diversify his activities in smart city, he made the extensive travel in Rwanda in 2017 to analyze the smart city Rwanda master plan. And then he realized that the need is not only to focus on the ICT, but also in smart city waste and water treatment projects. Also, to let you know, on the technology side, Blue Cloud and IBM have been cooperating for the last several years in translating state-of-the-art technology for the mutual benefit of its customers. Blue Cloud are continuously certifying his software products on the IBM server platform and IBM software. A warm welcome to you, sir. He would definitely in the session give you more insight about the topic on ICT and the smart city. Our second eminent speaker for today's session is Mr. Vithal Deshpande. His topic would be focusing on sustainability. He is a sustainability expert in USA, environmental program manager in the city of Somerville. Mr. Deshpande is his engineering in civil from Mumbai University, MS in environmental engineer from Northeastern University, and MBA from the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Mr. Vithal has more than 25 years of expertise and has initiated and developed innovative programs, technologies, communication strategies, public education tools, and services that directly benefit depicted the environment and sustainability. Highlights of his broad array of work include the development of alternative textile dyeing process to reduce toxic chemicals, watershed management involving real-time water quality data collection and predictive modeling, developing greenhouse gas emission inventory that brought awareness and reduced the carbon footprint of the city, modernization of solid waste management program that reduced the waste, increased recycling and composting, smartphone application development to achieve public awareness, and to develop public services, development of electric vehicle charging infrastructure, indoor air quality management for public building, and many more. That's incredible, sir. He also serves on the board of nonprofit in the environmental and health fields in the United States and remained advisor for the startup business in the environmental, computer technologies, and financial technologies field from the United States and Mexico. He is advisory board member of Shashwat since its formation, that is in the year 2011. He was also an advisor for sustainability in US federal government. So moving on, I would like to invite Mrs. Pradnya Thakur, the founder and director of Eco Solution Services Foundation. She is having a rich expertise of 25 years in the sector of environment. I would request her to please take forward the agenda and set the context for the day, that is sustainability and ICT Smart City 2020. Ms. Thakur, please
Very much, Sangeeta. Really, it is pleasure to have such eminent speakers today with us from different countries. And to take further lead, about Mr. Vithal Deshpande, I want to add one point that he is very much linked with Indian community in USA. And during the visit of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, he was in that entire process involved actively. So I basically today's topic is, and also welcome Jean Olympio, because we had lot of conversations since long many days about sustainability, ICT and smart city solutions. So thank you very much. You both accepted invitation and being here for this program. Um, Actually, see, to start with, what is sustainability, facets of sustainability, current basically focus, and yes, definitely there is a climate change, energy management, green energy, electric vehicle, mobility, like green construction. A lot of topics are being involved or in line with sustainability and ICT. So I request Mr. Vithal Deshpande to take the lead for your presentation, please. Uh, Sorry, your voice is muted.
Okay, sorry, as usual. It happens on Zoom. So thank you, Sanchita and Pradnya, for kind introduction, and good to meet you all. I hope you all can hear me. I'm going to share one presentation now with all of you. And it's not a big presentation, but to give a broad background and then to set some tone for the dialogue. That's the whole idea. So sustainability. um, so what is sustainability? So there are several definitions. If you go from UN to EPA to various global organizations to universities, one specific definition I like for this dialogue and conversation is from actually Investopedia. It's a online portal on investment and economic and everything. And what they say is sustainability focuses on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. The concept of sustainability is composed of three pillars: economic, environmental, and social, also known informally as profits, planets, and people. So economic meaning basically businesses, environmental is obviously environmental, and social has all angles. So it is like a gear, if you think of it, that they are all connected, because if people are safe and working and everything, then business will work and will grow. And that can potentially help environment and vice versa. Without good environment, business cannot work, and without businesses, people cannot survive. So let's think about facets of sustainability that we are just discussing, what Pradnya said right now. The first is about economic. So broadly speaking, economic facets are related to corporate sustainability, and another is resource conservation, and then minimal adverse environmental impact of whatever the business practices may be. Like for example, earlier in my introduction, it was said about textile dyeing procedure. So as while working for a textile company in US, there was a major issue about how to reduce impact of the color going in a stream, in a waste stream. So we developed some program. Similarly, there was another issue about reducing the toxicity while developing a polyester dyeing. Now, polyester dyeing is not my field, but my field is environmental. So we developed some process based on minimizing or eliminating the toxicity that was coming because of acetic acid. So that is just an example. About environmental, and I will talk about these points in the next slide. So there are, I just divided into about 7 different topics. One is about climate protection, another is energy management, third is green energy, then electric vehicles, green buildings, solid waste management, and water conservation. So, I mean, if you think of it, they are all connected, because, and sometimes they can independent also. Like for example, electric vehicle is still growing or just evolving field. Then comes social sustainability. So social sustainability is mainly for environmental justice. What it means by environmental justice, that was also one of the topic I had done a lot of research and publications. But basically what environmental justice is, that it's not totally good. The environment is not good for, depending upon the type of people, it can be on a social strata. I'm talking specifically related to US, but in India, it can be a little bit different, that we all may be suffering environmental justice issues, because we are all, so one way or the other, experience some environmental conditions. It can be from solid waste to air quality because of the traffic and whatnot. So, but in US, it was observed that basically sometimes the poor people or some racially minority people sometimes get isolated in areas which are not conducive for their growth, and environmentally they are highly polluted. So that's from that perspective, this environmental justice word came, and there are policies from the federal level to state levels. Then social equity. So social equity has different, again, topics. One is about the community development, again related to environmental justice, that it should be equitable. The development should be equitable. It cannot be separate for different people. So that's main thing. Then public health. Public health is a major issue right now. The entire world is experiencing public health issues because of COVID-19. So although COVID-19 is a public health part, but still from the sustainability, social sustainability point of view, if you think of it, if we want to survive, if we want to be sustained, that's another thing. Then comes the social support. The social support mechanism comes from 2 different means, and I'm going to conclude sort of from that, but I will just give the hint. One comes from the government and another comes from the non-profit. And then the last one is social responsibility. So social responsibility also actually comes on the shoulder of everybody who are capable of doing something beyond their own personal needs. It doesn't have to be rich or poor, but broadly speaking, we talk social responsibility about mainly corporate social responsibility, meaning from the profits get 2% or whatever in case of India. So those kind of things are there. Then other things, sometimes donations are there. Sometimes people, how people work about helping in some dire needs or calamities and whatnot. So let me go to the middle pillar, which is environmental sustainability. And I'm going to uh, give very quick background and request to our moderators to either of them can tell me if at all I'm uh, going beyond the time limit, but I will be very quick. So first is about the climate protection. So how the climate protection and sustainability match. So there are a lot of activities happen under climate protection, but I'm just considering two critical points. One is carbon footprint and another is greenhouse gas emission reduction planning. So what, and again, this, if you think of it, some things will be connected to each other. It's not something they are exclusive terms. So what happens is carbon footprint is our existing practices that gives idea about how much carbon we are emitting because of our own personal as well as community wise as well as business wise operations. Then comes the greenhouse gas emission reduction planning. So once we know the carbon footprint, the other part comes is the greenhouse gas emission reduction. So for greenhouse gas emission reduction planning, we need to know more data. We need to have more data analysis, and the strategy where we can reduce carbon. Broadly speaking, it comes into the field of energy, because in entire greenhouse gas issues, most of the operations have the maximum greenhouses either in energy or in automobile sector, traffic. Of course, other things also have, but these are the main things. So that leads to us to energy management. So on a personal level and on a residential level, the major thing is about what we call low-hanging fruit. It's from energy efficiency using LEDs, light emitting diode bulbs. And on the businesses or even governmental side, it comes in the by either energy efficient systems or equipment. These are two very critical parts, and there are a lot of different examples I can give if at all somebody has questions about any of this thing. I'm just broadly talking about each point here. Then comes green energy after energy management. So once we have some idea about energy management, then we can go to green energy and implement certain aspects. Like for example, solar power. There is a tremendous opportunity solar power, but again, it goes hand in hand with available resources as well as the way government has created the policy. Same thing applies to wind power, but wind power sometimes can be more expensive, and that is a major challenge for that. And then again, you have to have proper location, openness, and whatnot. I'm not saying wind power is not good. There are a lot of successful projects with wind power, but solar and wind, this is something easier to go for solar power. And hydropower, luckily, in case of India, we know we have a lot of hydropower projects, but how can they be more implemented in a creative manner, or how can the existing one can be creatively used? Either small hydro projects or the existing big projects, those kind of thing without having or with minimal environmental impact. That's the key part. Now the evolving part in the energy management and energy part and automotive sector is electric vehicle. I know we had in India there were certain policy related issues. Here what happened in US and particularly in the state, Massachusetts, where I reside, that the government created policy that they will adopt certain number of electric vehicles by year 2025 and so on and so forth. So what happened because of that, they just targeted that the state will have so many vehicles and that will be combined. Sometimes it will be state owned, but it can be because of the incentives that state is creating, private people will also buy. And that has created one infrastructure opportunity for the local governments, businesses, and even privately owned vehicles. So I happen to work on that part, but on the infrastructure part. But the long story short, what happens is that when we use electric vehicle, based on my personal experience, I can tell you that, and I'm not saying that electric vehicle means only Tesla. Tesla is beautiful vehicle, but it doesn't mean that's the only one we have to think about. But basically, reducing dependency on fossil fuel, it's amazing because when you don't have to fill up your in Indian case petrol tank daily, but instead of daily, if you are putting petrol in once in a month, if it is a hybrid vehicle with meaning partly electric and partly gas, it's amazing. And if it is 100% electric vehicle, then it is even better. But there are again challenges, how long you can go, so on and so forth. It also helps obviously in reducing carbon emission because of the vehicle emission. But obviously, when you are using electricity for charging, there is some carbon emission for generation of electricity, but still it is one step less because we are not now burning fossil fuel for driving vehicles. And then it comes to reducing auto pollution. That's critical part because the air is clean. When there are 100% electric vehicles, we don't have to here go for the emission test because there is no emission. So that can tell you a lot. Then comes a major issue, and believe it or not, it's not only in India. Obviously, India has more issue because we had limited infrastructure, but same thing happens even in the United States, and that is a solid waste management. Solid waste management is a major issue. I can tell you only from Massachusetts perspective, where I have experienced more and I know the current situation, that there are no landfills. All the landfills are getting closed, and basically the incinerators, waste to energy plants, they are also closing because they are privately owned and because of the economic situation, meaning they are not profitable, they are selling it or so closing it. So we are going through a major upheaval battle in the next by 2025, and a lot of planning is going on right now about how to encourage people to reduce the waste. Then on a state level, how to transfer or transport the waste beyond the state borders, even I mean, thousands of miles away. So there are how to use railroad tracks and streets and whatnot. Then comes the hazardous waste management. We have a lot of hazardous waste owned by individuals for cleaning and painting and whatnot, as well as a lot of hazardous waste in industry. So that's another part which comes under solid waste management. Electronic waste, no need to say, everybody knows how many phones and computers and tablets and whatnot we have. Anything that is plugged is e-waste once it is useless to use. And that thing is a big challenge. We do recycling for that, but that's not something easy to task. Then comes the recycling. Recycling is something that should come after reuse and reduce part. And that is something always the useful part. But recycling is also challenging right now. It's a topic on its own because of particularly China, because they stopped recycling or they created a lot of hurdles. And that is becoming major challenge economically and environmentally. And the way entire policies were created over the years to rely only on one location. I'm not talking necessarily as a country, but if at all somebody is relying only on one specific location, geographic location, then it becomes a challenge, and that is what the classic situation of recycling right now. And food composting, compared to, I would say, some portion of India, US was far behind, but that is now coming up a lot. People on individual level do a lot of food composting, but on government level also, local government level also, there are certain experiment going on about how to implement and make it as a regular service. And the last one is about water conservation, watershed management and stormwater management. I'm not going to cover too much here, but very quickly, water conservation, we all know, reducing water. Watershed management is a critical part because it is connected with stormwater management also, about how to keep our rivers clean and the entire watershed area also clean and fertile and whatnot. I realize right now one point I didn't write here, I forgot, I'm sorry for that, and that is a green building. That's in itself is a entirely different topic with LEED certification and other things, but mainly in LEED green buildings also, the critical part comes about the energy management and green energy and some portion of indoor air quality. So in all these things, role of government comes to policy making, regulations, enforcement and development. So basically policy making helps everybody, businesses as well as residents. Regulations regulation and enforcement are more towards businesses, but it can be partially for um, uh, residents also. And then social development is obviously helping social development through policies. And then role of non-profit organizations, that is like a passionate, first of all, non-profit organizations are driven by passionate professionals. Then they develop projects that government and businesses can't focus on. It's a classic example even with Shashwat that they did a lot of work that I don't think government body or private body can think about or will be interested to do on their own. So that's what the key part, that it is like a missing link that connects government, business and people. So it's a very important portion of the entire social system. And then it comes to, there are public education ambassadors and they are communicators. So that communication and ambassador part, public education part, maybe will get covered with even ICT, or we can discuss based on specific questions. I think my presentation is over right now. I hope I didn't take too much time.
Very nice. Maybe you can stop sharing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
very nice presentation and very brief, and you have expressed holistic approach to entire sustainability system. It has always been asked that whether the sustainability aspect should think before starting the project or it is at later stage. So that is also one question to you uh, to elaborate. Yeah, and generally, that need to understand that if sustainability need to think while drafting or planning any kind of project or aspect, that will help to make the project very elaborative and nice one. So thank you again. And yes, sure, for to ensure sustainability, the more challenging part is continuous improvement and monitoring system. And that continuous improvement, a lot of basically data is required, follow-up, monitoring, evaluation process is required. And for that, yes, definitely intervention of uh, technology and ICT is the need. So here, I request Jean Olympio is with us as a ICT expert, and I will request Jean to share your Blue Cloud's work in the area of ICT and smart city. Because any smart solution, when it will be a smart, when there will be basically the proper evaluation and monitoring system to ensure sustainability.
If everyone can see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. It's not too wide or too small?
No, it's proper.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sanchita and Pradnya, and also Vithal for your presentation. I will show you today What we improve in France and all over the world, because we work in France and also in Africa. And you see in my presentation that we have also some projects in India, in Pune, where we have our team in Pune, our technical development team. One of part of that is based in Pune, also in India. Okay, let's go to my presentation. Blue Cloud, as Sansita told, that we are in a digital, we are digital company, and also we work in smart city and ICT. And our approach in ICT transformation based on water and waste management. As I would say that who we are in a Blue Cloud we develop our own sensors and also a web platform for two things: B2B, and where we talk about waste collection, waste management, and we can talk about solid waste management. We address our solution to communities and also private sectors. And we have also B2C business, who is a detection of water leakage in pipe and managing the level of water tank in apartment building, mainly in India, in Pune. That is the two aspects of our technology: waste and water. About water, and what we try to prove with our technology, that the globally water management face multiple challenge: water threats, water quality, access to of water, aging forces of infrastructure, and also the budget concept of communities. What you call communities, or what we call in France territory, because it's large, large cities who want to put something in place, and we have a solution for that, and to bring to people. What we say that the Blue Cloud Water Management is the platform for data integration, data analysis, and information visualization that provide and integrate conceptualized view as well as actionable insight about water-related system infrastructure and operation. Our potential customer we have is the public and private utilities, water, wastewater, district heating, and also national and regional water agency. We address also to businesses using an extensive amount of water, or for which water is vital for their operations. How it work, our solution? Our solution, we have here, we have a sensors who detect the leaks of water, and then we have our technology who provide all the flow to alert people, and also for operation procedures, and to guide the operation in his activities. And we can follow, and he can follow some some um, some way how to go to fix the problem in the houses, in building, and so on. So that means that we have in India, for example, what is placed in Pune, we our technical people and our team work in Pune, actually, to the smart buildings. That means that as the picture can show you, we put our sensors in the low reservoir, in ground reservoir, and also in overhead tank, to measure the water tank level, and to automatically direct the system to the provider, water provider, who can plan the providing the water for buildings. That is one of our our achievements in India. The other achievement that is what I would say that the Blue Cloud solution makes city infrastructure and individual houses, collectivities, buildings safer and more reliable. We have also the solution for waste collection. The fact now we know that will be many people will be on Earth in next 50 years, and that continue in 2050. We expect that 80% of the world population will live in urban city, and that means that if you have a trouble managing waste today, how we can manage, we going to manage them in the future. And we provide, keeping that in the same way is not feasible. Cities need to innovate solutions. And that solution we provide to the cities now is based on sensors, weight and level sensors. And we have also all elements, where technology revolutions, smart waste management system, for example, this is for small bin or underground bin, or people can show exactly what we can provide like a solution. And we have also power of analysis who's based on intelligent waste management platform. That means that with IoT, this is internet tools, which made based on level sensors, we can control, we can monitor all the level of the system, of the container, and to alert and to make a rule plan of optimization. That means that we need to use a real time time data monitoring to do what we have. One more, what we provide to this to the cities now, because the add value we have to provide sensors and to trace the route for the trucks and everything is not sufficient for cities. We need really to have some add value for the cities. And in France, we start in France. We in circular strategy and model. What what that mean? That means that we are using bio waste, and with we have a partnership with one company who is Moulineau, who is making biogas and compost. And we provide to them all data that can help the trucks to collect bio waste, and they put the bio waste to the composting system to have a compost and also to have a biogas. This is a real add value for cities now, because we cannot say that we can help to collect the data or to provide routes plan for trucks and everything. We have to go deeper than that and to provide what we call the circular challenge. Blue Cloud, as Sachinta said, that we have award in many areas in France now, and we have a partnership with IBM, Sigfox, and LoRa and Vodafone to connect telecommunication India in Africa. And as I said, that the future and the benefits we provide is we have to monitoring of the vehicle in real time, usage, route planning, rapid management, and all this provide for cities now to manage the waste collection in France and in some countries in the world now. And also to finalize this monitoring solutions, we have, for example, you can see, people can see what is going on the city. The log continue the data from the sensors, smart route prediction. They can alert the container. They have an alert on the container level. They can what we call the for the vehicle maintenance also, and then they can manage all from the office now. That is the real add value for cities. And for example, in Paris, as everyone knows, Paris with Eiffel Tower, we manage Paris, the city of Paris, and with sensors who made that we can. This is the map, for example. You can have, for example, here in some parks, we can manage from area in Paris where they put the sensor. We put the sensor in the container. We can see which container is full, and then we send the trucks to catch them or to make the collection for. And we also trace the routes for the trucks. Our markets are now in France, in Europe, and in Africa, in Rwanda and India. We start with Pune, but what we will do is our target is for businesses, for municipalities, housing for the water one, disposal company. In France, we have some big companies for disposal company, and for manufacturing collection bin, whom like a plasticomium, etc. This is the real add value we provide for cities. In India, we have, as I said, that our team is based in Pune, and we provide to people in Pune all things they can have to manage their waste management. And also, for your information, we have a good add value for Pune municipalities, and we with the French embassy we are working with. We have a project in Pune, in India, and some countries, some cities in India, to provide to them this circular challenge, circular project, and to have some joint venture with some companies who can manage well biogas, and to have also the compost. Together, let's make our city cleaner. This is our what we call the way of doing business. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Jean. Very nice presentation.
Thank you very much, Pradnya. If you have any question, please ask.
Yeah, I will request if you can stop sharing your screen, so
Okay.
we can have a questions to both of you.
Okay.
Mr. Deshpande, and to you as well. Basically, from both of your presentation and your information you have given, there is a holistic approach, and all these solutions are leading to people-centric. So role of community people is very important, and the factor there are a lot of challenges for if people-centric approach is there, because adoption of accepting solutions and adopting solutions and monitoring and maintaining it is very challenging, and so strong monitoring system is required to ensure sustainability. I just want to share that Shashwat, the meaning of Shashwat itself is sustainability. So we are very much working with on this aspect, and very keen about promoting sustainability approach to the community. So my question to both of you, that how you feel that policy level, because you both have experience working in India as well and globally. So what is your suggestion that what policy level recommendation is required for India with respect to your subject? Like, I will ask first Vithalji, what you recommend to have some policy level recommendations for India with respect to sustainability?
So I mean, I will give you a little bit based on my experience in US about developing policy. I know about India also, but and it is more or less similar, but still I would like to clarify that my main knowledge is from here. Basically, the key part for developing any policy is first of all understanding the current status and have that information and data ready. Uh, and then other part is obviously understanding where everything is leading to, um, and meaning what is going to be the situation after 5 years or 10 years, and based on that to develop a policy. So that aspect has to come in sustainability and environmental aspect also. And things are never possible with sudden changes in sustainability. As you said, it is a continuous improvement. Sustainability is not a product, but it's a process. So basically, we have to understand it as a process and how we can uh, implement, review, and again implement with changes or further improvement. That's what we have to check it out. So that being said, it's very critical that there has to be different I'm talking now sustainability from environmental perspective, but that goes in other places also, business and other things, uh, social development. But basically, what we need to do is focus each uh, vertical separately initially for the policy development. It can have common outcome such as carbon footprint or energy usage or fossil fuel dependence, something like that in certain sectors. But if at all there is one specific, and obviously community impact, that is another part that can be covered, and develop some policies, but it has to come again based on the existing knowledge and some sort of tangible goals.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. And I would like to know from you, Jane, that what is basically required to have a kind of your recommendations with respect to ICT in India. So, what do you expect?
Um, as I said in my presentation, we have, for example, we try to do our best in France, like in Paris, in the city of Paris, where we base our company, and they it's not very obvious to ask people to change, and the when the government or the cities try to do some projects, we need really to push people and to show them the way where we want to go. And this example, for example, in city of Paris, I try to bring that in India, in Pune, for example, and to tell to people that they have to talk to the ICT Pune municipalities, for example. They have to integrate people in their project before, because without involve people, the citizen in the green or in smart city project, we don't have some feedback from them. And one of the things we have done in France and in Paris, in city of Paris, for example, we involve many people in that way, and to show them that what we try to do is not only for the municipalities, but is for them. For example, I give you the add value we have about circular projects, how from bio waste we can provide gas and compost. And now people can go to buy compost coming from their own bio waste. And this is one add value I can say that we can provide to India, for example, in Pune. The project will start maybe in October in Pune, and we have a project with is a private project at the beginning, but we want that Pune municipalities put would be involved in that project to see exactly what add value we can provide to them. And without involving citizens, the project will not be success. We need the project, the green project or smart city project succeed. But without people, they cannot be succeed. And my advice is, as well as we can have technology. Technology only cannot do something. We need technology and people to finalize the project.
Thank you very much. Yeah, really. Actually, as during his presentation, Mr. Deshpande has informed that there is a gap filling between government and industry. As if we look at the non-profit sector that generally is doing, with our experience of Shashwat, yes, capacity building and IC activity for segregation of waste or conservation of resources. Uh, Definitely, the activity which a non-profit is putting up to bridge that gap, but one thing that it should be come up with basically a systematic approach at the city level. So my another question to Vikashji, that in your city, how basically that approach that make, if we want to make one city and project sustainable and a smart city approach, then for certain issues, how that linkage of non-profit government and technology and industry has been brought together, so that cumulative efforts in a focused and organized effort can make better change. So I will like to know from you.
So to answer, if I understand correctly, you would like to know how non-profit businesses and government can work at a local level, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a very tricky part, and the reason I'm saying tricky because non-profit are not businesses, so they typically don't get involved in direct businesses. That being business with government, I mean to say, like a contractor. But that being said, there are certain part where non-profits get involved. We have one local non-profit organization, uh, with environmental focus, and their focus is on creating youth jobs as well as in green jobs, basically for youths, like a summertime jobs. So it's a very standard thing that after age 15 particularly, students or even 14, I mean when they are in ninth which is a high school in US, uh, the kids start getting sort of independent, not independent literally meaning away from home or anything, but to get some experience outside, to put it on their resume because it is required in college admission and whatnot, and sometime to get understanding. So that particular non-profit works with government, local government, to coordinate with the schools and involve students, select students and give them jobs during the summer time, which is approximately from end of June to beginning of September. So August and September, July and August, about 2 months they work. Sometimes there is another one during the winter time. So that is one example. Then the same thing happens during the school years also. They help in evening programs or after school programs to educate certain things. Then the food composting in schools is a major issue because there is a lot of food. So they get involved in how to do composting or how to do gardening. So because it is their own focus. So that is one example. Same thing happens with, say, climate change related organizations. So they can work sometime on specific projects, but not necessarily funding is a major issue, because funding comes if there is a specific grant or something, and sometimes through the city budget also. But we have very strict purchasing rules which are the state rules that we have to follow. And so we cannot just give businesses to any organizations, so particularly when it goes beyond certain amount.
Thank you. Funding is, yes, really challenging for non-profit always to work in certain areas.
Yeah.
But yes, and yes, but this cumulative approach can lead very much to the sustainability for
Right.
bringing everybody on one platform. There is one question from Mr. Mangesh that we Punekars are responsible to throw waste in rivers, which is a cause of great concern for future generation. What steps and measures do you recommend to address river water quality? It is for Mr. Deshpande.
So there is no, as the old phrase goes, silver bullet, one solution fit all.
Yes.
But there are several actions that constantly required to be done. One of the major action always is public education. I mean, sometimes we think that it is too much and everything. I know in the last 5 years, we heard a lot about Swachh Bharat also. Then it becomes like a joke also when we start hearing, because we don't personally do anything. So we thought, what is this? But unfortunately, that is always required. It happens here also. I mean, we have one river called Mystic River, and it it has its own pollution and trash issues. That they used to be even more 10 years ago. And even right now also, it's a very standard event during summer, and not only one time but few times, that there are community events where people go for cleanup. So cleaning some waste from the river by going by canoeing or boats and whatnot, as well as on the bank of the rivers. And they are obviously well protected and everything, but they are regular professionals, or basically non-workers, non-sanitation workers. They go and they start doing. So it has two different impacts. One, what happens that people do some voluntary work, but at the same time they understand what exactly the problem is firsthand. And when they put their hand in literally to clean up that thing, then they themselves become more responsible, because many times we think we are responsible, but we sometimes choose not to be. So that is one part. The other part about the technology, and one thing we had done earlier, we had I had some EPA funding also on that, and that is sort of ICT kind of solution we did, that to check the health of the river. So what it means is that we had real-time data collection for river at specific locations. I mean, that we have defined based on our engineering and social aspects, that what are the important locations. And we did some physical parameter testing every 15 minutes and getting that data back on through web server on our website and whatnot. And then at the same time, the other part is do some biological testing, which takes about 2 days for the test results. So during the extreme events like water, there is when there is a heavy rain, then check the water, because that time there is more E. coli and whatnot. So those kind of thing, and then publish those results, show what exactly the situation is. So that kind of awareness helps. So it's a technology, it's a thing, but at the same time, nothing but education and awareness, either through technology or through volunteerism, that helps. You are muted.
Radhida, can we unmute your mic, please? Let me unmute her.
He is having another question, that can Mula Muthari in a river be revered, or it is declared a dead river? So basically, that is another different question, and with context that dams we constructed and the water is not flowing in many areas, and flowing water is also one of the a challenge, and it is a need for an entire ecological balance. Um, would you like to answer that? Say
Yeah,
anything on that? Yeah, please.
just one thing I want to add. I
Yes.
In Pune, for example, I work with one madam who is who clean Andaban river. You know very well, Pradnya,
Yeah.
uh, and she did a great job. But I think it's as I said that if the the municipalities has to uh, to involve people in because without involving people in the green or water or solid waste management system, people cannot, they don't know exactly what they can do. They Someone asked the question that they put some waste into the river. If we inform them, if we educated them, people will avoid to do that. And if we have to force them to not do that, because the challenge is not only to do the projects to recycle things, it's also to involve people to what they cannot do according to the law, or according to the city we can call the well-being. And we need like companies like us in Paris, for example, in city of Paris. We educate people. Don't throw waste everywhere. We put them, we talk to them, and we bring them to see exactly what we can do. And we have some challenge also, like advisor, as business people, to advise, because we know that without training people, without educating them, and what they can do, what they cannot do, people will stay the same. No one wants to change.
Yes, very true. Means involvement of community is really a solution like that. Shashwat, what we are doing that our focus is segregation at source, segregation at collection, and segregation at transportation, and that is basically the baseline of in case of solid waste management. So it is more to the community-led approach and involvement, and that is crucial. Means environmental any project cannot go only with technology. It is technology and community has to go hand to hand for sustainable project approach. There is one more question. Basically, I think we can take it as a last question. How can one define sustainability of waste to energy project? That is by Vilasji, and he said it is biogas or pyrolysis as energy used for producing energy as an output of these projects itself takes some energy as an input. So it is for both of you.
So
Yeah.
if
Okay.
Jean wants to go, he can go first. Yeah.
Okay. What I can say today, for example, we have. I'm not very the biogas manufacturing guy. I'm ICT. I can provide connect sensors and the everything. But what our partner, who is a Molino company, told us that is, we to provide the organic recycling of biogas is very energy for them and also for the city. For example, I can give you some example of that. What they produce for the city in Paris, all trucks in Paris cities use this biogas to for collections. And your question is how can one define suitability of waste energy to biogas? I think biogas is one of the cheapest one we can have. I don't know if I answer
Yeah,
your
miss.
question.
I will also request Vithalji to
So
say something on this.
my experience with waste to energy is literally customer, not as a operator. And obviously, from whatever I read and listen in the field, in the basically in the field. So to make it short, I can say one thing, that it's not easy to use any system for waste to energy. Uh, for one reason, and that if at all that is taken care in a very creative manner or a very systematic manner, then things can work good, and that is segregation of waste. What happens that when it comes to the imagination of waste to energy, we naturally think that um just whatever is there in the waste, that will get burned and that will create energy. Logically it is correct, but based on different type of waste, things can change from time to time, and there is no guarantee that what waste comes today to the plant will be exactly same that will come tomorrow, or for that matter one truck to another truck. So that becomes a challenge. And another challenge happens is to control any kind of air pollution. One of the part about sustainability is to manage pollution also, because that impacts our health, and health impacts our basically not only our personal wallets, but as a public health also it becomes an issue. So that becomes a challenge, and to avoid that thing we had to this kind of solutions need to have a lot of air quality controls also. And so all these things come into picture as a business. So these are not something social projects that can be done. But those are business projects also, and if they are done correctly with proper segregation planning in the beginning, I think either of the part which is you are asking can work. It doesn't matter it is a biogas or pyrolysis. Biogas is typically good for wet kind of waste, from my understanding.
Thank you. I will hand over to Sanchita for next.
Yeah, thank you so much. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Pradnya, for setting the context so beautifully and steering it so nicely. And also, Mr. Deshpande, for giving so insightful knowledge and overview of the sustainability aspect with respect to smart cities. Mr. Olympio, you have really wonderfully blended technology with sustainability. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, fetching the data on real time monitoring and smart cities, I don't think will go in silos without the artificial intelligence in place. And especially in the digital world, wherein we are moving on the digital aspect, and also with the COVID pandemic, people are not able to move. I mean, this digital platform will give us more mileage, and the smart cities, and it will have a complete give a complete holistic approach as given by Pradnya to to take the steps forward. So with this note, I would now like to invite Dr. Aditi Kale to give her vote of thanks and conclude the session. Aditi, please take it forward and give your concluding remarks, please.
Thank you, Sanchita. Really very nice to hear Mr. Deshpande and Mr. Jean. Deshpande sir always been with us, gave us guidance for sustainable projects in Shashwat. So today we are very fortunate to listen to him about his experience and so nice presentation.
Thank
As
you.
he rightly said, in environmental sustainability, we need to concentrate on climate protection, energy management, green energy, electric vehicles, solid waste management, water, and green building. Really nice, and thank you for your answers, so apt answers you have given. I would also like to thank Mr. Jean, who has shown us a very nice presentation that smart beans and all. Today, with all this pandemic, till the pandemic, no one would have thought that ICT will be so much used in India. Today, all of us are having all e-meetings and Zoom meetings, or even the students have started attending lectures online. So in recent future, we can also think of smart SWM practices at India also, and let us hope for best. Um, I also thank all the participants for joining this webinar, because without participants, the webinar will not have any value. I would like to inform all of you that we are coming with a series of webinars. On 11th, we are planning to have on rural development one more webinar, and on 18th we will have on circular economy. Thanks again for all, and thank you, Pradnya, for arranging so nice webinar here. I thank all the directors of Shashwat and team Shashwat for having all the efforts to have this seminar. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you very everyone.